welcome. It's so nice to have you here. Hopefully you are joining us for a second, third, fifth, 20th, 100th time. If not, it's your first time. We are just so thrilled to have you, and we welcome you and our global audience to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we currently have over 25 live broadcasts a week. Our show today is The Art of Creating Mental Health Wealth, and we have a fabulous guest backstage. Before we bring out our guest, I want to bring out the star of our show. That would be JENETTA Barry and the Epiphany Process. JENETTA is such an integral part of our platform and of the messaging, the education, the hope, and the inspiration that we bring to our audience. She was just on the spelling bee, which I have not recovered from yet. It was so much fun. If you missed it, please go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and look for the playlist, The Spelling Bee. She'll be back for 2 more episodes on that. She's also one of our talking heads. She's an elevated listener. She's the founder of World Jenny's Day, and she's a really great human being as well. And she's joining us from Africa. Hello, JENETTA Barry.
Thank you for such a wonderful intro. And I'm in the jungles of Africa. This is true, very true.
You know, I just love saying that because we really are a global platform, and because of technology, we are able to come together like this. And I'm just grateful every single day. Sometimes the technology is not always working with us, but for the most part it is. So it's a pleasure to see you, and you are 7 hours, I think, ahead of me. So we changed our time today, so I appreciate the flexibility.
Well, yes, and that 7 hours can cause havoc at times, but you know, it's about planning and being. That's why World Jenny's Day was a 16-hour day, because of all the people around the world, and it's called World Jenny's Day, and we're called USA Global TV. So it's about finding those mixes and times, and of course the tech side as well is a big thing. But look at me, I'm right next to, by the way, for our new listeners and viewers, I'm right next to a lake filled with hippos. And here I am with all these fancy lights. Today, for the first time, I've been able to plug my internet straight into my computer and not go via Wi-Fi and this wonderful green screen. So, it's entirely impossible. It's entirely possible to make this happen. And so, yeah, I invite anybody who'd like to be on our shows or be part of us. Doesn't matter what your circumstances, come and join us.
Absolutely. Thanks, JENETTA. And as you know, we talk a lot about the arts and the creative outlets and how it really helps people with mental health. And I'm reading it more and more and more across the world. There are so many people struggling, suffering, even children, because of the pandemic and everything going on in the news. It's enough to make you not want to leave your home. But we have to keep putting ourselves out there and find ways to express ourselves. Last night I was running a support group and just hearing some of the stories. A young woman, young girl, 14, diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. It's just heartbreaking what that does to you mentally as well. So you've had your own challenges with it, and you help people all over the world. Tell us more about that, and then we'll bring out our guest.
Having been a motivational speaker for many, many years, and having grown up in the theater and with the arts, I just thought that's where I was going to head to until my greatest life test presented itself when my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, died from suicide after she and I had an argument. And after my life having gone down to ground zero and really believing I wouldn't make it, in fact, 3 times, I actually planned not to make it. I was so overwhelmed and lost. I realized I had decisions. I could still make decisions, and I didn't have to define myself by one label. And I started researching and studying ways to accurately get through the lifetime emotional prison sentence it felt I was serving. And it took some time because I didn't have a JENETTA to help me, but it took me some time. And I've now been able to help people internationally. I've been internationally online now for a good 14, 15 years with what I call the epiphany process, helping people self-harming, suicidal, terrorist attacks, you name it. I've helped people all over the world. And one of the things that this program we're on today is that we realized that my daughter Jenny, who died, had actually died on World Mental Health Day. And we use World Mental Health Day and World Jenny's Day in combination on that day. And we have incorporated performing arts and the arts on that day to celebrate mental health wellness, because on that day there's a lot going on globally about what's wrong with everybody and that they're broken and they need fixing and whatever. And as much as that's helpful, I do believe that can hold one back. And I really, we've now done 3 World Jenny's Days where we have celebrated. And by the end of that day, the vibration of people, the way they're looking at life, even if they're in the most dire of circumstances, has shifted. And we've got a very, very big plans for World Jenny's Day here on this platform. And we're going to expand it to big places and spaces to do more of that. And that's why today, Dr. Jacalyn and I are delighted to have one of the performers from this year's World Jenny's Day on 10th of October. And I met BB Feenix, it was coming up for 2 years ago on Clubhouse, and we clicked. I just loved her. I love her spiritual approach to life, her open-heartedness. She's got a beautiful voice. And but unfortunately, she couldn't be in the 2020 World Jenny's Day lineup, but she was 2021, I think it was, lineup. And but she was able to be in this one, and it was an honor and pleasure to have her with us on the 10th of October. And if you get to know BB, she's proving that one can create one's own rules in order to achieve the kind of a success most would only dare to dream of. And that's a birthright that most don't even know is possible. I mean, people say of her that she's also a really talented vocalist. She sang for us and with us on World Jenny's Day. And people are saying, as a talented vocalist and performer, she has a knack of standing out from the crowd. And her belief, her perseverance and creativity is infectious. And she's an amazing co-writer and artist to write with and for. And she's gaining popularity by the day. And as I bring her in, I'm just going to start off playing a bit of one of her tunes. Ladies and gentlemen, BB Feenix. Welcome, BB.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
So great to be with you. Hi, ladies. I'm so grateful to be here.
It's nice
Wonderful
to have you with us.
Have you.
Sorry for the little delay. I thought you were playing music, JENETTA. That's why
I was, and I've had that same problem again where I'm playing and I'm going, and then I realize nobody's hearing me. So I just cut that. Gone.
Well, it's nice to have the real BB here anyway. So
exactly, it's nothing better than real life, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we're talking today about healing with the joy of music. And music is such an incredible way for people to express themselves. And I've taken notice over the last however many years, especially certain types of music, country music comes to mind, where people are actually expressing their real feelings about what's been going on in their life. What does being able to express yourself through music mean to you?
For me, it's a very cathartic thing. I myself translate my lessons into lyrics. Having fled domestic violence, lost both of my parents to cancer, I find it a very, very soothing way to be able to put down what it is that I'm going through, one on paper, and then to be able to express it musically and lyrically. For being able to do that, a lot of people aren't able to wear their heart on their sleeves in such an open way and such an authentic way. But for me, it's almost become a necessary thing to do, because I used to bottle a lot of stuff up. And I've learned that internalizing things actually only kind of exasperates the situation. So being able to let out the emotions, being able to let out those feelings, it's a healing process for me. But I hope that then the listener then also feels that translation into the lyrics and that feeling in the music. And that's what I hope to do, is connect heart to heart with people through my music.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's beautiful. Absolutely.
Bibi, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been singing professionally before, up to now, and what got you into music?
For me, I've always wanted to be a performer. I've always wanted to be a singer. I have auditioned for many bands or many TV shows. I auditioned for many things and got thousands of no's. But really, a couple of years ago, I decided to say yes to myself rather than waiting for someone else to choose me. It was through the beautiful, for me, lockdown. I was able to spend time creating and crafting music for myself. And what that did is that opened doors for me. It opened doors to a singing songwriting company that I have now started working with people all around the world, from Australia, New York, Las Vegas, Germany, many people in England. And for being able to start creating my own music and putting my own music out there has been a very important part of my journey. But, you know, I've sung to thousands of rehearsal walls. I've sung to thousands of people that weren't interested. I've had many people tell me I can't do it, but the self-belief and the tenacity and determination to be able to do what it is that I want to do has led me here to this point, to meet wonderful people like yourselves and to be able to spread that message of healing through music and joy. So I'm very grateful that I continued on my journey and didn't listen to the naysayers, really.
I really appreciate that. That's so important, especially for us in our lives. We feel stuck certain times, right? We feel like we're in a rut and we can't get out. And then, of course, there's that person going, no, 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 no. And then we really take it on and we really believe it. So what are some tips that you can give to our audience when people are feeling stuck, you know, based on your own experience of what you've done? How can we get unstuck?
Basically, the way to get unstuck is to continue on. The only way you can ever really fail in life is to stop whatever it is that you're wanting to try, whether that's to achieve something through music, maybe some weight loss, or to find a partner in life. The only way you ever fail is by stopping. And to become unstuck, you need to just continue on, but having that self-belief. But also, you know, up until the day that we die, we have a choice that we can make. And every single choice we make can affect where we go in life. And the fact that we have this ability to be able to choose to continue on, despite the people being negative towards you, despite circumstances, society or family or whatever the disbelief may be, if you believe in yourself enough, then there's no reason why you cannot continue on and find that success. Where you stand is not where you need to stay. We can all become unstuck, but we just have to believe it. And we have to continue on making moves forward. You know, sometimes, okay, you may go a couple of steps backwards, but keep continuing on that journey and you will get there in the end. Absolutely, you will.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
So, to ask you, because I think as much as that is, it is really the key. When one is in that really stuck in a trough place where you think, I cannot get out of this and I'm trying to be as positive as I possibly can, what have you done to very obviously get out of that and become the success you've become? What did you do? What did you do things physically? What did you do to help yourself to get out of that rut?
Yeah, I mean, I found myself in quite a few dark places. I ended up with PTSD from the fleeing of domestic violence and all that came from that. But the way I've got myself out of it is a certain amount of mental well-being work. Things like taking some time out, doing some meditation. I don't know if anyone can do meditation or they feel that they can't. There's guided meditations online. There's ways of taking and finding a way to get out of your mindset. Us as human beings, we have a negative sort of almost like instinct within us from our caveman days, when our brains were wired to be able to escape tigers and lions and things like that. But actually we don't have those stresses and strains now, but we do tend to live in fight or flight mode. So to be able to get out of those, things like just taking some physical exercise, going outside in the sunshine, whether it's winter or summer, being able to go out and just appreciate the sounds of the birds singing or the wind blowing in the trees, just being able to take our minds off the loops of the negative cycles of thought patterns that we tend to go through, being able to focus on other things like music or going for a walk and having some fresh air, or the meditation. What we need to do is just to break the cycles of thoughts and the patterns of behaviors that we tend to have. And if we can start putting in new behaviors and new traits like meditation, or just putting on some music and having a dance, if we can just take that pause from what's going on in our world, that is what helped me to start escaping from where I was in that lowest point of my life, which I've been up and down several times. But the way forward for me is just being able to take that break and just being able to give myself enough space to start thinking again clearly. You know, getting that clarity over the cloudiness has been an incredibly important thing for me. And also sometimes just reaching out to a friend, you know, just speaking to someone. It's surprising that when you start having these conversations, how many people feel very similar or the same to what's going on in your world. And by having these conversations and connecting with such beautiful souls as yourselves, it just enables you to lift yourself out just enough to be able to move through your day. So for me, just building in new habits is a way that I've started moving forward from things.
There are two things that I especially, I mean, all you have to say there is so valuable, but two that I especially like is the meditation side. And yet so many people can feel quite overwhelmed when they go, well, I just can't sit still and empty my mind and all that. And one of the things that I found helped me with that was to go, well, meditation comes in many, many forms. When you go for a walk and you're mindful of each step you take, and maybe even a little bit of a song as you sing with your steps that go in line with your steps is a form of meditation, and you're breathing with the steps and the song. And another one is looking around the room and going, okay, light, microphone in your mind, desk, laptop, Dr. Jacalyn, BB Feenix, and you just look around at everything and take note of it, and you're not having to empty your mind. And I found that's helped so much as well. And one of the things that and now I've forgotten what the other one was that I loved so much about what you had to say. Oh yes, reaching out to somebody else, because we tend to think we're so isolated and alone and nobody understands what we're feeling. And I love that you've suggested that. It makes such a difference.
Yes, it does make such a difference, because again, we all tend to focus on what's going on in our worlds, and we do feel isolated. And also we don't want to sometimes share our burdens. We don't want to share what's going on in our worlds, but actually it's important to share what's going on. And the time when you feel like hiding and withdrawing the most is usually the time when you need to reach out to somebody. And even if it's having a conversation about something completely different, you know, your favourite TV show or the weather, as us British tend to enjoy doing, just distracting yourself from those thoughts is enough to break that cycle of the negative thoughts that is going on, and just connecting with another person, you know, it's such a powerful thing.
Bibi, I was wondering, on your journey when you were getting those rejections, because we do get rejections, did you have to let go of some of the people in your life that it wasn't healthy for you to be around them?
Yeah, that's actually been quite a big part of my journey over the last few years. There's been so many negative people that have said you can't, you won't, you shouldn't, you're not good enough. And actually it became a little bit of a lonely place for a while, letting go of those people, because I felt that they were important in my life. But actually what I was doing was holding on to the wrong kind of people. And by letting go of some of these people, and that's, you know, some people in the family as much as it has been friends along my journey, what that has done is it allowed space for the new to come in. It's allowed space for the people that are now, you know, warm and regarding, you know, highly regarding the work that I'm doing, to come into my life. And it's a hard thing to go through, letting go of the negative people. But actually, it's harder to stay with them. It's harder to be in that world where people are pulling you down, because, you know, we can be our own worst critic, as it is sometimes, and be in our own mental prison. But actually then to have other people pulling you down as well is actually quite an anchor. I used to think, I feel like it was an anchor holding me back. So by actually letting go of some of these people, and moving forward and moving on and continuing on, has actually been more empowering than it has been of the fear factor of letting go of the people. So I'd recommend to anyone struggling to do that as well.
Thanks for sharing that. That's really helpful, because that is what happens. People cling on to what's familiar, and we don't want to let go of any things or any people, and yet it doesn't serve us, and we need to move forward. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, JENETTA, we can't hear you.
I wanted to also ask you on your journey of stepping into a career of singing. What advice would you give to people who are suffering from feeling overwhelmed and challenged, and they know deep down in their hearts that they are talented enough to do something about this, but that other part of them says they're not? What physical, in other words, what would you suggest they do with their singing to get them through? Not only being positive and meditating per se, but what skills could they employ, or practices could they employ with their singing? Would you be able to help with that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, firstly, I'd say, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just stop everything for a minute, let go of all of the sticks. You can pick them back up one at a time. But as far as techniques and finding yourself as an artist, for me, it was about listening to what was inside, what was burning me inside, and what was it driving me forward. So for me, it was wanting to be able to start giving back. You know, I had a lot of people help me on my journey, and I wanted to be able to start sharing. But to be specific,
so to hold you there, I'd love to take a step back, because we tend to go, well, that's what I did. But for any of our listeners and viewers today who are going, yeah, but what happened back there? So you decided you wanted to be a singer, and then what happened? You went forward to people you knew who identified with you. What did you do to get started?
Well, I started reaching out to people that I knew were either in the music world, in production, or in the singing side of things. I started entering myself into a lot of competitions, and not just the ones on the TV, but other competitions, because I always knew that I could do it. But actually what I found, I learned a lot through each process and through each no. But actually finding confidence in yourself was the very first important part of all of that. Because although I had the self-belief, every time I went for an audition, something would go wrong. So I could feel, even though my voice was okay, I could feel like I was tensing up in my body, and I was, giving off the wrong signals. So what you need to do is be able to really present yourself in a confident manner. And for me, the confidence was the last thing that I had to work on to actually be able to present myself as a singer and as a speaker on stage. So to work on your confidence really is the first and foremost thing you need to do. Believing in yourself is one thing, but your body doesn't lie either. And so if you're trying to give a performance, but your face is, all screwed, or your body's all tight and your shoulders are up, then you're not going to be able to do that. So maybe reaching out and finding a vocal coach. I had a vocal coach for a while, and, she taught me many techniques. Breathing techniques are wonderful, not only for mental health, but also for the singing part of things. It helps you with your expanding your diaphragm and connecting yourself from the bottom down, really, rather than just singing from the throat or from the head. Getting yourself some proper techniques and some good skills from people that know are a really good starting point. It helps you build your confidence, and it helps you to show to be able to show yourself as a performer.
We actually have a wonderful vocal coach on our team here, Madeline Chan. She's over there in London area, and she's fantastic. So that was great direction. Thank you. I'm going to put you on the spot. Are you available to sing anything for us a cappella now?
Yeah, I could sing. I can sing an a cappella parts of something for you. Well, one of my songs called "Change My Reality." It's about being able to change your circumstances, and so just to give myself a second to get the lyrics. So, I don't need to stay where I am. I can change my reality. I will rise up higher and higher. I don't need to stay. I don't need to stay. You chipped away. I lost control. I couldn't do anything right. You made me question my own mind. Drowning in the thoughts you left behind. I don't need to stay where I am. I can change my reality. I will rise up higher and higher. I don't need to stay. I don't need to stay. There you go. How about that?
Aww.
Brilliant.
What a wonderful, deep timbre mezzo soprano voice. It's like, wow, that is so rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the way it was so heartful and soulful, and the words, you really touched me.
Thank you.
Did you write those words?
Yes, that was a co-written song with a couple of other artists, a producer and an artist. And that was actually about when I fled the domestic violence. It was about how it made me feel and how that control was part of what I lived for a while, but how I knew I could get away and I wanted to get away. And again, this is about me sharing that message of where you stand is not where you need to stay. At any given point, you can change your reality.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And we have done several shows about domestic violence, and especially during the pandemic, we've had some experts on who were just sharing that during lockdown, it was even worse for people who were in situations like that because there's nowhere for them to go. So how has your journey through domestic violence, how has it been able to motivate you to help others who are going through similar situation?
For me, it started outside the courtrooms. When I was taken to court for custody of the children, it wasn't even for domestic violence or anything to do with that. But it was the last court case out of the 4 court cases I had to go through. I was standing there on my own, had no one with me. I'd lost my mum a few years beforehand. And I was sitting there thinking, how on earth can I get myself out of this situation? How can I change my reality? How can I change things for myself? And also wanting to so badly help others going through that because I didn't have the help I needed at the time. I've always wanted to be able to help other people through that journey. And from that moment on, I think I must have changed something within myself and the universe aligning with me. I found that I needed to keep moving forward. Although actually after that point, things felt like they were getting worse for a while. I think it was what was called beautiful destruction. By the breakdown of everything that was going on around me, again, what it allowed was room for the new stuff to start coming in. For those people that showed me that generosity of their time and their love and their help, for me, it was a stepping stone journey towards being able to help other people. You know, I became what I call almost an expert in the field. It's like I gained a PhD in understanding how to deal with the narcissist of the world and the controlling factors, and just being able to speak about that on social media and wearing my heart on my sleeve has actually become my strength, when at the time it felt like it was my weakness. But being able to share my journey is actually what's helping me to help other people. And the more I seem to do it, the more people seem to reach out to me, and you know, something resonates within themselves, and being able to then point them in the right direction is all I wished for myself outside that courtroom. And now that I'm able to start sharing my journey more and more as I, you know, reach further and further afield, it's starting to give me the gratification and the fulfillment of knowing that I can help other people. And it takes on average 35 attempts to leave someone in that situation, because of the things like the love bombing and the way they make you feel good one moment and then you're on eggshells the next. Understanding all these different things that they go through and that people go through has been an amazing insight into being able to help other people and to share my journey.
Thank you so much. And thank you for helping other people and for being so transparent and real with your story.
Thank you. No, that's an absolute honor of mine.
So, Bibi, where do you see the bigger picture, or are you already in your bigger picture? Is there more that you want to expand on from here, or is this it? Is this it?
There's two answers to that. One is that, yes, I do want to expand and go further. I want to reach further global stages. Although I have people that I'm working with globally, I want to perform on global stages to be able to spread that message further and wider. But I used to always be chasing the end game. I always used to be chasing, being on stage like such people as Pink and Adele. But actually, I feel like I'm really living my success right now, by the fact that, I've always wanted to be a singer-songwriter. And, at the end of this year, I'll be releasing my 6th single. The fact that I'm actually able to, as an independent artist, be releasing my own music, being able to do all of the background work and the paperwork and understanding how to register everything professionally and properly. It's taken me a little while to understand it, but I'm living my dreams right now. I am living that success. The fact that I can share myself and what I'm doing, but I'm actually doing it. I've been in the grand final of 2 singing competitions this year, last year and this year, and I'm singing on stages and performing in the UK at the moment, but again, I'd like to expand that to the world. But the one that I performed in at the end of May, my children were able to come and see me, so their first ever concert was seeing their mum on stage. I am, showing them how to live their lives and following their passions and their hearts. So for me, I'm living that success, but there's always more that, we can expand into. Absolutely.
Congratulations. That's really exciting. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's such an exciting time.
Yeah, an inspiring time too, because again, you are the role model, not only, most importantly, your children, but for many women out there. I mean, I'm a pretty strong person, but I have been in a domestic abuse relationship. It didn't get as far as hitting me, but it was very close to it on a number of occasions, and that building up and cutting one down. Fortunately, I was able to get to that point where I went, I don't want to do this. But it's astounding how many women out there are actually battling that and have no idea how to get out of it. So you are such an inspiration.
Thank you. And again, I just want to be able to people to realize that they can get out of that situation. And if any of my words resonate with anyone, please do reach out to me. I can point you in the right direction. Even if you're in a different country and I don't understand the systems there's still a way to be able to reach out and to get out of these situations. But not only doing it for yourself, doing it for your children if you have children, because, showing them the right way of being in a relationship and the right way of living, that was actually what spurred me on to get away. And I didn't even realize to begin with that I was going through it myself, because it was almost like a mental torture. I never got physically hit, but I was controlled in many other ways, financially, emotionally, mentally. And it's just recognizing those signs. And sometimes you just hear something and think, oh, hang on, I understand that's something that I'm going through. Or, just to have that feeling and to know that someone else can understand what you're going through is just, it's a very important part of the journey. So please reach out if anyone needs any help. I'm here to speak to anyone if they feel they need to. So please reach out.
Thank you. In interviewing people, as we do on this platform, what I've heard from people who eventually were able to leave, that they couldn't leave because of the financial piece of it, because they couldn't have access to the money, or they didn't know where they were going to be able to live or how they were going to be able to live because of money. Anything that you can share about that?
Yeah, I mean that was a really hard part for myself, and a lot of people end up not even leaving because of that financial control, and because of that usually the power then, or the financial money tends to lay with the partner, and the fear of being able to leave because they've not got anything to start with is usually enough to sometimes keep people within that relationship or in that circumstance. But usually there is some form of help out there, be it through in Britain we have like Women's Aid and domestic violence phone numbers, and I'm sure in other countries they also have similar sort of places that you can reach out to. And those phone lines are quite important because they then can direct you onto the people that you need to know that can help you to get away from that. But the fear of someone else having the control financially is actually holding too many people back. We can actually escape that, and there is help out there for people. I actually turned to a lot of family members, and they weren't even able to help me. I did feel quite lost at some points, that thinking, oh, how was I ever going to get away from all of this? You know, and at that point that I was at now, I never could have predicted that I'd be living the life of my dreams and actually have a life for myself. But please don't allow that financial control to be the thing that holds you back. Again, it's the fear of something tends to hold people back more than the actual doing of something. And just taking those first few steps can actually be quite empowering, as hard as they may seem. But just reaching out to somebody, whether it's myself or a national helpline, there are ways of escaping, especially the financial control and whichever control that may be going on in your world.
Thank you so much. And that's the first step to the healing journey.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I call myself BB Feenix healing singer and speaker because of the healing side of things that I've needed to do for myself, and everything that I've learned. That is what I want to be able to give back and share back. And, you know, on top of everything that I've been doing, I'm also going to be, as a volunteer, working as a choir leader for a local hospice, which was the hospice my mum was at before she died. And I'm really even more so being able to start giving back to people at that most vulnerable time as well, at the end of their lives. So, you know, for me, just being able to heal through music and share the joy of music, and, you know, being able to give back in many sort of ways is such a rewarding thing to do.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
What I loved, what you said in terms of abuse just now, is that the thought of leaving is always more overwhelming and impossible than the actual leaving, and it made me think of it's rather like when we're sitting writing an exam and we're studying for that exam, and then suddenly, you know, it's just too much, I can't do this exam. And then once you get there and you pick up the pen and you start writing, it flows. And that's very similar. And I think you've hit it on the head so beautifully there, so that people think, oh, it's far worse to do it than it actually is.
Oh, absolutely. For me, ultimately, living the life afterwards, no matter how hard it was to begin with, is never as hard as it is actually living in that relationship. The fear tends to be the thing that stops you, but the empowering part is once you get past the exam or leaving that person, although things may seem like harder at the time, the relief of getting away from that and the relief of knowing that you have got a life outside of that is actually so far greater than it is actually, and a lot easier than it is in staying within that relationship, for sure.
Yeah. I really appreciate, just again, you being so honest and candid. I'd love to have you back and really dig into this topic even more, because it's something that we need to continuously revisit, because there's still people out there going through it. So I hope that you would be open to joining us again.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. And, you know, like I say, I feel like I gained a PhD in understanding it. So all the information that I've learned and gained, I'd love to share, and I'd absolutely love to come back at another time for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So
we have your information here, but for people who can't read the banner, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So you can reach me on all social media as @BB Feenix, and that's BBFEENIX, @BB Feenix on all social medias, or you can reach me on bbphoenix@gmail.com. So you can email me directly, or on any of those social media links. Just reach out to me, and as soon as I see the message there, I'll absolutely respond straight away. I'm usually quite quick at responding to people, so please do reach out. I'm here for you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and again for your flexibility and the change of the time. And we look forward to having you back again.
Thank you.
Oh,
It's been
yes.
an honour.
Can't wait.
It's such a pleasure, and I'm so lucky to have connected with you, JENETTA. You know, I love working with you and working on World Jenny's Day and performing for you. And again, anytime you ever need anything, I'm absolutely here for you as well.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. I can't wait for us to create more magic with World Jenny's Day. Let's see where this takes us.
Absolutely. And just a quick idea is that perhaps if you'd ever like to write a song specifically for that, then, you know, I know a few people that I can work with, and perhaps we can try and create a song especially for you for that.
For World Jenny's Day.
Yes, for World Jenny's Day.
It's certainly an interesting next step, because, of course, we had the Song of Resolution this last year, which was a conversation between Jenny and I, which our voice coach and the amazing Dr. Madeline Chan pulled out the hat so magnificently this World Jenny's Day. So maybe that is the next step. Let's have a chat.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks again. We'll see you sometime in the future.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Lots of love.
Wow, that was really powerful, JENETTA.
Yeah. And actually, it's the first time in all the time we've been running this show that we have actually addressed domestic abuse on this show. So I'm so pleased we finally got there. And as you say, let's get some more of it out there, and let's get people speaking more and more.
Definitely. And JENETTA, you're able to help people all over the world. You've got a significant amount of experience. You're a pioneer because you've been doing this online for all these years. How can you work with people, and who can you contact? Who can you help, I should say?
I can help with people with whatever their I don't know what's happened. My teeth are not in straight or something, but definitely I'm not wired with my brain the way I normally do. So let's get this going from the start again. So anybody that's feeling challenged from whether it's day-to-day happenings or with other people or a person or a situation, so much of dealing with that comes from not feeling as though you have the skills to deal with it. And it's about changing the internal conversations. So it would be a delight and a pleasure to help you to start those new conversations, because when you change them internally, they come out most powerfully, and people's reactions to you change. So if you'd like to get a piece of that, you can get hold of me at JENETTA, JENETTA, at the Epiphany. So it's THEEPIPHANY process, PROCESS.com. I sound like I'm in the spelling bee again. And you can get hold of me through email and visit theepiphanyprocess.com. There's a mine of information there, and it would be an honor and a pleasure to hand those skills over to you.
Thank you, JENETTA, as always, out there helping people. We actually have a comment from one of the viewers. He's trying to connect with you from Push Child Foundation, Uganda. So,
gosh, we're getting a lot of Uganda here. We've got Ethiopia later tonight. You must join us then. And I would love to hear from you. Get hold. By the way, Dr. Jacalyn, our lady the other night from Spelling Bee said she'd emailed me. I got no email. So if she comes back on, she's welcome to email me. And Push Child, please do get hold of me, and let's have a chat.
Yeah, it's he just sent another message that the email doesn't go through. And I emailed you today too. It didn't go through. I don't know what's happening, JENETTA. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's one for anybody who really does need to get hold of me. JENETTA, JENETTA.Barry, BARRY at gmail.com is my private one, and I'm more than happy to receive emails there if my main one is giving problems. That's really weird. Anyway, thank you for letting me know.
All right. Thank you. JENETTA, we will see you in just about an hour and a few minutes for Global Adventures.
Yes, Global Adventures, and it's Ethiopia, everybody. It's going to be the most insightful thing. Ethiopia is really the cradle of the Christian church in Africa. It started there, the Coptic church, in the 5th century. It's going to blow your mind. Can't wait to have you back with us.
Thank you again. I'm super excited for that. Well, we are going to be signing off for now. Our next show is coming up. It's the United Kingdom News and Culture. And I have to say, we have our 3 expert correspondents over from the UK. Their information is spot on. Every week, they're giving us news about the royal family or the United Kingdom. And it's actually before it hits the mainstream media. So do join us and let's find out what else is going on over there in the UK. Thanks again. Please subscribe to our channel. If you're over there on YouTube, just click subscribe so that you can be made aware of all of the programming that we offer. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Thank you again, Bibi, and thank you, JENETTA. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.